Well, I don't trust Red Wing.
You
Hold on a minute.
You don't trust
You don't
Red
have
Wing.
to trust Red Wing.
You don't have to.
But I'm gonna go see if he's right. 'Cause I have a feeling they might be a part of the big three. Androids, aliens, and wizards.
It's true.
not a thing.
That is the big
Definitely.
three.
No, it's
It
not.
is.
Every time we fight one of the three.
So who are you fighting now, Gandalf?
How do you know about that?
I read The Hobbit. There are no wizards.
Doctor Strange.
Is a sorcerer.
A sorcerer is a wizard without a hat. Think about it, right? I'm right. I just came up with that. It's crazy.
Welcome back to New Rockstars. Marvel's The Falcon and the Winter Soldier is the next MCU chapter following WandaVision, with Falcon Sam Wilson and the Winter Soldier Bucky Barnes teaming up on a mystery mission involving the return of Zemo from Civil War and the whole legacy of Captain America. While promising to be a more grounded, straightforward action series compared to the craziness of WandaVision, we have also been promised a story deeply rooted in Marvel lore. And by the end of this episode, I will reveal what new crackpot fan theory train I'm going to be chugging away along. This is Inside Marvel, New Rockstars official after show for The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I'm Erik Voss, and here with me for the next several weeks to break down this series is MT, aka Mastertainment. Hey, man.
What's going on, everybody? What's going on, Eric? I love making nerd content with you, so let's get into it. This is gonna be good. I feel it.
Oh, I feel it too, man. This is so great. We've loved having you on as a guest for New Rockstars and past shows, past episodes of Rogue Theory and Big Question, and you just seem to like get the insane level of attention to detail we put into this. Sometimes, you know, going too far into a theory and getting debunked on the other side, but taking it in stride and then getting back up and keep going.
It's
we
because
can
I'm
do this
insane,
all day.
Eric. It's mostly because I'm insane. I'm just an
Yeah,
insane person.
insanity. Yeah, insanity is definitely part of the madness. That sentence was insane.
I understood what you said though, because we speak the same insane
That's right.
language.
That's
so.
right. Oh yeah. So together, MT and I are gonna react to each episode as it comes out, and we're gonna do our best to answer your biggest WTFs. Which for this show, we are gonna change it so that it will now stand for What the Falcon? Subject to change.
That's pretty good. I'm a big fan.
I don't know if you saw, like, I grew up watching R-rated movies edited for TV on, like, TBS and TNT, and they always swap in different F words for the F word. So, like, I think it was on Die Hard 2, where he says, yippee-ki-yay, Mr. Falcon.
Oh, yeah. Yippee-ki-yay, Mr. Falcon. With totally something that normal people say when they're just at the heat of
absolutely.
anger. I'm just like,
Oh,
hey,
I've said that.
You know what? Some car cut me off the other day. I was like, yippee-ki-yay, Mr. Falcon. And he was like, how did you know my name was Mr. Falcon? Sorry.
And then Pepper was on the other side of you going, do a barrel roll. Just like, oh, this is a dream. I'm in a dream.
It's like, I'm having a minor stroke. This is, all these people are not real.
So you are listening to our preview show to catch you up on everything you need to know going into The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. And MT and I are going to try to explain how this show is going to change the MCU forever. It's going to be a big game changer.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
gonna be a
for
pretty
sure.
big deal.
For friggin' sure.
So we are also simulcasting this live on Stereo. Stereo is the free podcasting platform where you can interact with us in real time, sending us voice messages that we will air and respond to live. Be sure to download the Stereo app by going to stereo.com/newrockstars. We're going to do a special bonus Q&A segment exclusive for our listeners on Stereo, and that will air as a video on the main channel on Sunday. So if you missed it, be sure to join Stereo, and then you can get your question read on the channel in a future episode. So, MT, let's dive right into this. Let's start with, what the Falcon is this show?
Okay, well, I'm glad you asked that, Eric. Well, following Avengers Endgame, Sam and Bucky are dealing with the legacy of Captain America's shield. Obviously, because we saw at the end of Endgame, Cap was like, have this shield. It's pretty good. You could have a meal on it. You could throw it. It's just fantastic. So old man Cap gave it to Sam, who felt like it didn't belong to him. But Bucky gave an approving nod, so...
Yes, a very important nod, because you know there were fans in the audience who were like, how does Bucky feel about this? That shield should go to Bucky. Oh, Bucky nodded. Okay, I'm cool cool with it.
Like,
Bucky's
Bucky
cool
was the
with
first best friend. He was here first. He gets dibs on the shield first, okay?
Yeah, exactly. Bucky and Sam have always kind of had this love-hate relationship, and really it has been defined by their relationships with Steve Rogers. Like, Bucky, as you said, he was Steve's friend. He was the old friend. He was there when he grew up. He helped fend off bullies, and he was really defined by the good old days of World War II. A lot of horrible things happened, but, we look back on
not
it.
a great time.
Rose-tinted glasses nostalgia is. But Sam kind of came in there as Steve's new friend at, like, the new school. And, and that's all he cares about now. Always on his left, ain't he? Then really he's defined by what we knew of Steve Rogers after he came out of the ice. That kind of modern rebirth. He was the first superhero or friend who really understood Steve. Because until that moment, until he found that friend jogging around DC, he didn't really have anyone on the Avengers who really got him and what his struggle was. And then in Civil War, Sam and Bucky had a lot of moments together. They bickered in the backseat of that tiny VW bug. Just that moment of them looking at Steve making out with his grandniece, maybe.
It was real
they were
weird.
kind of like, yeah, incest.
We're getting real, Game of Thrones here.
Yeah, a little bit. Alternate timeline. That makes everything okay. Yeah. So really, this whole series, The Falcon Winter Soldier, is meant to be a sequel to those moments in the Cap films and in, like, Infinity War and Endgame. Like, it's growing out of those moments.
Yeah, for sure. 100% sure. Like, it's gonna be really cool to see, like, callbacks to those moments of what those like Falcon and Winter Soldier. I guess I should say Sam and Bucky moments in the series, and like I like their chemistry, even though they don't like each other. Like, there's this weird like I love you, but like I hate you type deal going on. And like I like this relationship. Let's see how this goes. But let's talk about Bucky real quick. Bucky, James Buchanan Barnes. I don't know if you guys knew that's where Bucky comes from. Buchanan. Yeah. So.
One of the best presidents no one knows anything about.
Right? Couldn't tell you a single thing about that Buchanan guy. Anyway, Bucky, James Buchanan Barnes, was Steve's lifelong best friend and fellow soldier during World War II. They served in the trenches together, shot a bunch of Nazis. It was fantastic. Then, unfortunately, not so fantastic, he got abducted by Hydra and got turned into this mind-controlled assassin, the Winter Soldier, by ARNIM ZOLA, which was, just a little side project for Zola. He was just like, let's just make some super soldiers. Why not? You don't have an arm? Don't worry about it. I'll make you a new arm. It's totally fine.
I'll get you an arm. Yeah.
But Steve's loyalty to Bucky was the primary wedge in Civil War, as you guys remember, and especially when it was revealed that Bucky straight up murdered Tony Stark's parents in cold blood in that tragic motor vehicle accident. That was a complete accident, and Bucky didn't punch anybody in the face repeatedly. Not at all.
Know what he was doing.
It was a complete accident. So Bucky and Steve and Sam have remained fugitives ever since in direct violation to the Sokovia Accords. And then Bucky was recovering in Wakanda, of course, as we saw at the beginning of Infinity War, and getting a new vibranium arm, which is custom to Wakanda. You just come to Wakanda, they give you some lemonade and a new vibranium arm.
You need a vibranium arm? We'll get you a vibranium arm. It's Joey, get him a vibranium arm. Get this man a vibranium arm. Yeah.
Exactly. It's just hospitality. That's what you do. Yeah. And so he was recovering in Wakanda, and he was the first character that we saw dust in Infinity War.
Yes, that's right. Which is a nice parallel to Sam Wilson, because Sam Wilson was the first Avenger voice we heard on the other side of the blip coming out of that. So they kind of bookended it for Cap, both the guy who left him and the guy who came back. It's interesting parallelism there. But let's talk about Sam Wilson. This guy, Mr. On Your Left, was an Air Force pararescue airman. He was part of the XO7 Falcon team. He had a wingman named Riley, who was gunned down, unfortunately, during a mission. Very sad. And then Wilson, out of that, became a veteran counselor. And that's kind of how he met Steve. They were jogging around DC, and they had this nice friendship, and he kind of was able to connect with Steve in that moment in a way that no one else in this modern era was able to connect with him. And then in this amazing Winter Soldier movie, Steve was helped by Sam alongside Black Widow when they were on the run when S.H.I.E.L.D. was revealed to be corrupted by Hydra. And then he was briefly in Avengers Age of Ultron, and that's kind of where he became an official Avenger by the end of that movie. We caught up with him at the beginning of Civil War, where he has this Red wing drone. It was a reference to his actual Falcon friend in the comics. Amazing.
I loved it.
A bit cooler, a bit something that like he can brag about when he's trying to pick up women in a bar, right?
Right.
Like, I have a Falcon. And then, some women might be like, yes, please.
I mean,
Show me that
I don't know if there's a
bird.
lot of bird ladies out there, but hey,
There's some bird ladies.
I mean, there's some bird
bird.
ladies out there.
Yeah.
They go to the bar too.
In Civil War is where we got to see Sam and Bucky collide and have some great moments, specifically in the airport battle where the two of them just got straight up embarrassed by Spider-Man. It was great.
It was pretty great. It's my favorite.
They got some good hits on him, but Spider-Man, yeah, he was a child who defeated them both. So by the end of Civil War, Cap freed Sam from the Raft prison, and then we catch up with them in Infinity War, where they help Wanda and Vision of WandaVision fame in Edinburgh, and then that movie ends with Sam also dusting. But yeah, as I said, he was the first Avenger we heard return. That great radio message on your left. I love that the frequency that Cap was on was the same frequency Sam was on when he was, fighting alongside him 5 years ago. It's like Cap left the signal on. He's like, maybe just in case they return, I'll keep the signal on frequency 6. And then there's some truckers are like, hey, you on this one? He's like, can you get off? I'm waiting for my friend Sam to undust. Thanks, I appreciate it.
He's like, I'm just waiting for my my black friend that disappeared. Could you just get off this line, please? Thank you.
He's like, oh, okay.
But okay. That was a great breakdown. Let's talk about Zemo, because Zemo's going to be in this too. And Zemo is, of course, returning from Captain America Civil War, and after trying to turn the Avengers against each other. And he did a pretty good job. He did a very good job. There was a lot of punching. But also he's trying to get revenge for his family dying in the Battle of Sokovia, which was his main motivations behind Civil War, and his main motivations behind Falcon and the Winter Soldier, because he just does not like the Avengers at all. Doesn't believe they should exist. No heroes should exist. So he's just, I'm gonna put on my purple mask and, mess things up. Because he's good at it. And then he's, of course, when he framed Bucky for several war crimes, that was a very good job on Zemo's part. And he killed T'Chaka, which was very sad. Black Panther's father, if you don't remember. And it was a very touching moment. And I was just like, man, I gotta go call my dad. I gotta call my dad right now because
you never know. You never know. A Sokovian trooper might frame a Winter Soldier to
exactly. Call your dad right now, everybody, because Zemo might be coming for him. That's terrible. I'm so sorry. That's not true. Your dad's fine. And now, of course, he's wearing his signature purple mask from the comics, which I was very much missing in Captain America Civil War. So
we got
I'm very happy we're getting that.
We got the purple mask. And I don't know how Marvel does this. They find a way to make it look cool.
It looks so practical.
How do they do that? It's just the ridges. I think it's the ridges in it. Ribbed.
Right. It looks very like realistic and less stupid. Because in the comics, it's just like, why is he wearing this on his face?
Yeah, it looks also like, it's just they don't have enough purple villains.
It's true. We need more purple villains. Bring on the purple. Exclusively purple, honestly.
Now another element to the Falcon Winter Soldier is we got this new Cap figure that actually trailers for this series have only shown little bits and pieces of, and that is U.S. Agent John Walker. It's gonna be played by Wyatt Russell. Now in the comics, this character starts as the name Super Patriot. He's kind of like a wrestler, a self-made vigilante whose whole goal is to try to make himself famous for being such a hero that he has to be the successor to Captain America. Now here they seem to be following a similar arc. He's kind of a government pick successor for the Captain America title, a sort of PR stuntman, actually the way the government used Steve Rogers as a poster boy back in the 40s. So really just like a Cap in name only, you would say. And there have been posters and trailers actually showing up proclaiming Cap is back that have been tied. This is the U.S. agent version of Cap. Of John Walker, the U.S. agent, and then the government, at the end of the day, for whatever reason, does not want Sam to be the next Cap. And this series is going to go into the reasons why that might be the case.
Come on, Uncle Sam. Let another Sam get a chance, all right? Come on.
Let Nephew Sam have a turn at the wheel.
Right? Jesus Christ, the government. Just kidding. Government. Just kidding. Government's fine. But yeah, I'm very interested to see what how U.S. Agent is going to play into Falcon and the Winter Soldier, because he just seems like a really just I don't know what they're gonna do with him. And like, there is like people are like, is Sam even gonna get the shield? Like, there's like been talk about like if Sam Wilson is even going to become Captain America, which I'm sure he will be because Kevin Feige has been very clear. He's gonna be Cap. It would be very weird if he wasn't.
He's either gonna be at least to carry on the spiritual legacy of what Cap means to people. Sam seems to be the embodiment of that, or hopefully will be by the end of this.
Oh yeah, for sure. But there's also a new group called the Flag Smashers, led by Aaron Kellyman's character in the new Falcon and the Winter Soldier show. And they're based on the Cap villain Flag Smasher in the comics. And his goal was to tear down all national flags and iconography and just to like unite the world under one common mindset in general.
Yeah, these are the ones in the trailer that just have the red handprint on the face. Yeah. A lot of people are like, oh, that's going to be the hand, but probably not, right?
Oh, yeah, that doesn't really match the whole hand.
Yeah, they're not ninja. They're not secret ancient ninjas. You wouldn't see them if they were the hand. That's the thing. The hand could have been in the MCU from the beginning. They're just so good that they have not left the shadow, or they've been right behind the cameraman the whole time.
If you can see the hand, you're probably on the ground in a pool of your own blood, dying from the hand.
Yep, that's how you know.
So yeah, you're not going to see the hand.
That's how you know it's the hand. That's how you know it's the hand. Why am I doing Enchanted? What has happened to me?
It's because of all that WandaVision. You got WandaVision theme song, so now everybody needs a theme song.
Oh, did the Lopez's do Enchanted? Oh, wouldn't surprise me. Maybe I'm just thinking they had worked with the Dina Menzel on Let It Go, and she was in Enchanted. It's the multiverse is collapsing in my brain. Is what is happening.
Exactly.
But yeah, you know, this whole idea of like tearing down the flags, when you say that, MT, it kind of sounds like, oh, this kind of sounds like a noble quest for a group of freedom fighters to go for. Of like, let's just like tear down warring nations and forget about these political divides and just see if there's things that we have in common. What's wrong with that?
I know, right? It sounds noble, but it seems like they're going about this through very radical means.
Right. They're taking it to an extreme that we just can't get on board with that train. Now,
yeah, I mean, like, I'm all about for, you know, Michael Jackson song, "We are the world, we are the children." Yeah, I'm all for that, but with less, violence and explosions. I mean, it's good to watch on Disney Plus from a distance, but if I was living in a world with flag smashers blowing shit up, I'd be like, I don't want to go to the supermarket today. What if the flag smashers show up and smash my groceries?
They just smash things. They take gallons of milk and smash it. Flag smashers. They're like, are you really about the cause of tearing down political divisions? Yeah. That's part of it. But also,
we're just like smashing. You know what I mean?
Their high school history teacher is like, you have to give a reason behind your smashing flag smashers. Okay,
what's the motivation?
Politics. Sounds good. Smash.
Politics is always a dicey subject, so just go with that. There'll always be politics.
So one of the things I'm most excited about this series, MT, is how it's going to be expanding the map of the MCU. You mentioned how, Zemo's from Sokovia. In the trailer, there's a shot of him standing in front of the Sokovian Memorial with a big crater lake, behind him that looks like it could be part of the runoff of when that city smashed back into the terrain.
Right.
So I love that like both Falcon Winter Soldier and WandaVision are kind of revisiting Sokovia. There's more to like explore there, and I hope this series does that. But also this new fictional setting of Madripoor. So Madripoor is a criminal haven for the Marvel Comics. It's its own island nation that's located near Singapore. And it is known for having connections to Wolverine and the Hand, as we mentioned, those ninjas that you'll never see until they kill you. But a lot of people are saying this actually might be a small setup for Shang-Chi, which is going to be revolving around the Mandarin and the Ten Rings, who might be hosting this fighting tournament. Rumor has it on an island in the nearby South China Sea. So the Mandarin would be someone who would hang out in Madripoor.
For sure.
We wouldn't be surprised to see him there.
But also, Sharon Carter, the girl herself, she is coming back along with Batroc the Leaper. I loved the fight between Captain America and Batroc the Leaper at the beginning of Winter Soldier. It was just, oh man. That boy can leap. He was. Wasn't false advertising.
And this guy, Georges St. Pierre, is so excited for the Falcon Winter Soldier. I think he said in an interview, is like, oh, whatever you think about WandaVision, the Falcon Winter Soldier is going to surpass it. You know, like, how is the Falcon Winter Soldier going to be crazier with theories than WandaVision? But it got me excited. I'm like, maybe he's right. Maybe I haven't learned my lesson to stop listening to cast members of these shows when they're trying to hype us up.
Seriously, they love to hype up their show. It's like, it's going to be the greatest show. We're going to have the Luke Skywalker camera. Luke Skywalker is going to show up himself.
Fireworks. Fireworks.
So we shall wait and see if it's as crazy as WandaVision, but I hope so, because WandaVision was a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun.
It was so
yes,
fun.
it was.
Timeline-wise, this show takes place after Endgame, correct?
Yes, it will be after Endgame. From what we understand, I mean, it makes sense. He has the shield now. Cap doesn't have the shield anymore.
Yeah.
Cap's kind of out of the picture.
Yeah. But we just don't know when after Endgame exactly that this is going to take place. But set photos do show construction signs reading "Rebuilding the World After the Blip," so it could take place weeks after Endgame, like WandaVision was, or a few months.
Yeah, definitely. We also want to shout out some other cast members who might be part of the cast. Carl Lumbly was rumored to be in this. Miki Ishikawa and Clay Bennett showed up in one of, I think it was Sebastian Stan's Instagram photos. And based off his costume, he had this star on his chest. Some people thinking he could be Lamar Hoskins, who's Battlestar. Who's a companion, early companion of John Walker in the comics. So we're not really sure. But as with WandaVision, it's very important for us to acknowledge who the creators behind the scenes are. Because, you know, if we had been following Jack Schaefer and Matt Shackman more with WandaVision, those are the voices we need to be listening to. Because they're the people who understand how this is all coming together. They've seen the full big picture. They were there from the beginning with the pitch. So following their interviews this week has been figuring out what the hell was going on in WandaVision, or why they cast Evan Peters. So in this case, with the Falcon Winter Soldier, obviously Kevin Feige is kind of the grandmaster overseeing everything. It's, you know, he is God himself. Very hands-on with this. Yeah. But the head writer is this writer named Malcolm Spellman, who is an amazing writer. He's one of the reasons I'm most excited for this show. He worked on Empire, and the director is Kari Skogland, who is a longtime TV writer. She's worked on like everything, just like Matt Shackman had kind of worked on everything. You could look at her credits. She's like worked on Punisher. She's worked on House of Cards. She's worked on The Walking Dead, a ton of stuff. But Malcolm Spellman, if you ever have a chance to read one of this guy's interviews or listen to one of his podcasts, this guy is awesome. He has confirmed that this series is going to address race in the legacy of Captain America, specifically how a black man faces taking on that title. And he is like, he would not be part of this show. That's like his whole vision, is to kind of like, no, we need to talk about this stuff. It's important. And he's got such a voice for it. He is very much kind of like Spike Lee in that regard. He's like, the whole point of media is to try to challenge people's notions of what right and wrong are, and to challenge authority. And I'm here for it. I'm so excited.
I'm all about that. It's going to be like, I really hope that they can nail that commentary and just explore what it's like to be Sam taking over this iconic role from Steve Rogers, and there's going to be a lot of backlash, and so it's going to be interesting to see how they tackle that in the MCU.
Yeah, and one of the references that Spellman brought up was the HBO Watchmen, and how, you know, general TV viewers of superhero content are kind of ready for those kind of conversations. And one of the things Watchmen did is it challenged that notion of, oh, you thought Hooded Justice was a white guy, but actually the real history of it was he was a black guy. And they were able to go back to that earlier preceding history. And that seems like something they might be doing in Falcon Winter Soldier. This isn't confirmed. This is really just a theory. But a lot of people are thinking, if Carl Lumbly is part of the show, that they might be looking into the history of the character of Isaiah Washington in the Marvel Comics, who is kind of considered the Black Cap, who was a test subject from Steve Rogers' era, but his whole history of being an alternate Captain America was erased because it didn't fit the narrative of Steve Rogers' Captain America. And I think it could be such a great opportunity for Malcolm Spellman in the MCU to bring in that whole hidden history of the character, of the legacy, and giving power to Sam being the rightful heir to this mantle.
Yeah, I'm all about that. Like, it's going to be, oh man. It's going to be so good, Erik. It's going to be so good.
It's going to be good.
Everything that you just said, it just got me more hype. I'm just like, yes, let's tackle these things. Let's do it. Let's do it. Because like I love the direction Kevin Feige is pushing the MCU, because he's not just making your cliche superhero movies. And the thing is, though, he could just do that, but he's
He
not.
could,
And
yeah.
he's making these movies with these messages and with these perspectives that are just so amazing and unique. And he's using Disney Plus in the best way to do it. So
Yeah.
let's get it. Let's do it. I can't
and that's
wait.
the thing, like with all these shows, they're defying the genre. You know, WandaVision, we just thought would be kind of a run of the mill with some weird, goofy homages. Like we would have a scene that took place in a Bewitched reality. But no, they spent 3 episodes challenging us, being like, we don't know what this show is. And then delved into horror in ways that I never thought they would do. Into witchcraft, like, you know? So I could see, absolutely, this is a great opportunity for them to bend genre in another way and bring in some themes they've rarely addressed, you know?
Yeah.
So I think it's a great opportunity. So just to give you guys some strict details on what this would be, it's going to be 6 episodes, 40 to 50 minutes each. They're going to be airing weekly. We're not sure if there's going to be like 2 episodes on the first week. It sounds like it's just going to be one. And then each episode, I love this, has a budget of $25 million. So
wow,
that means a movie level budget, like Game of Thrones later seasons level production value you can expect. Massive action set pieces. They're really trying to evoke that buddy action genre, like Lethal Weapon, Bad Boys, Midnight Run. Based off trailers, you've probably seen this stuff. Like, there's a Fast and Furious type scene atop speeding trucks in Europe.
Oh, yeah.
We got Point Break style aerial fights with wingsuit gliders and Sam spinning through canyons. It looks nuts.
Yo, it definitely looks like a $25 million per episode budget.
Yeah,
and,
absolutely.
Oh, man. This is literally what we need after not being able to see a Marvel movie in theaters. It's just give us the Marvel Studios level content at home. It's amazing.
And then there is like some bar fights. I'm not sure where this is. I love a good bar fight, but this looks like it's in the Bronze Monkey Saloon. Now I gotta, mea culpa. I was wrong in the trailer breakdown. I thought they were scroll heads. I initially thought they were ape heads, but they were, they actually were the Bronze Monkey Saloon. It's a place in the comics that is related to the Captain America comics. So hopefully that is a place they'll go. So of all this, MT, what are you most excited about as we look down the barrel of this show?
I am really excited about just diving more into Zemo, because Zemo was a fantastic villain in Civil War, one of the best villains in all of the MCU, and just diving into just learning about his family, his family life. We got to see more of Wanda's family in WandaVision with that flashback, which was very, very tragic. So Marvel knows how to film a tragic, flashback and all that stuff. So we might actually end up feeling for Zemo more, which is I'm really excited about, because I like feeling for a villain. I like being conflicted. Like that's just like f up my emotions, Kevin. Just please just do it.
Please do.
So I'm mostly excited for Zemo. How about you, man? What are you excited
same thing with Zemo, but also with Sam and Bucky. All 3 characters, I think I've gotten like pieces of, but not the complete picture. In the same way that like, Wanda and Vision, when like Feige announced all these series, Loki, we've gotten a lot of Loki. I always want more of him though. But like those 2 titles, WandaVision and Falcon Winter Soldier, I'm like, they aren't real. They're kind of like the B stars of the MCU. They've had great moments, but we don't really get to know who they are. I'm saying this about the Winter Soldier. He has been a title character in the movie. I get it. I sound like an idiot right now. But even then, I still haven't gotten the complete picture. So the way WandaVision went into Wanda's history and really gave us a sense of what is going on inside her mind. Vision brought so much humanity to the character. I want Sam Wilson. I want more humanity to his character. I feel like that his whole story of what happened to Riley just kind of came and went in the Falcon, what's it called though? Captain America Winter Soldier. I want more of that. Like, I want to see more of what he's had to live with,
Oh, yeah, we're definitely going to get a Riley flashback, and it's going to be so sad.
It's going to be sad. Yeah, I think so.
So I'm all about it. I'm very much looking forward to seeing Sam's family, just seeing what his whole family life is like.
Yeah, the Wilson family, they're seafood folks. They got a seafood stand, and man, I can't wait to see Benji with Babish recreate some of those recipes. So this is New Rockstars. We're going to delve into the theories of this show and what we can look forward to there. First, we want to give you some news from our merch partners at Epic Heroes Shop. That Vision shirt, it's going dark on Sunday night at the end of the weekend. Sunday night at midnight, West Coast time. So this is your last chance to grab that latest Obsession shirt, the robot variant, an unusual couple. So grab yourself one before it is gone. However, we do have a new WandaVision celebration shirt to remind us that after everything, it was Agatha all along. Oh, also, if you might have guessed this, our next shirt in the latest Obsession line is going to be for the Falcon Winter Soldier. We are still working on it, but the mystery design is going to be revealed very soon. But we won't do that until the Vision shirt goes dark. So it's coming. It's coming. But also a little reminder that Epic Hero Labs still has 9 PS5s to give away. All you gotta do, go to epicheroshop.com/giveaway, click on the link in the description to enter, and you will see all the details. So if you are over 18 and in the United States, just enter to win a free PS5. Very, very exciting. All right, MT, what is our next What the Falcon?
What the F is this new shield, and where did old Cap even get it from?
Yeah, so we have to acknowledge a lot of the trailer footage is focused on this shield, right? Close-ups of the shield. It's all about that shield. The Russos say that old Cap in Avengers Endgame, you know, this guy just showed up at the end, and we're like, oh, that's sweet. He's an old man now. He lived a life. Well, where did he live that life? The Russos, the directors of Endgame, say that he lived his life in an alternate branch history, an alternate timeline in the multiverse. That somehow he got back to the Prime One. The screenwriters are like, oh no, he just lived within this history, and he was here the whole time in the background, not helping prevent the JFK assassination, prevent 9/11, or help them out during the Battle of New York, or any of these things.
He could have prevented. He was playing bingo. I mean, it's a lot of bingoing to do.
As we saw with WandaVision, sometimes the writers, despite these being some of the best screenwriters working right now, do not think out everything fully.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's not easy to think through every plot hole that you're going to run into. But I think we can assume if Cap was from an alternate history, that's far more interesting because it brings up the question of where did he get this shield, you know, because it clearly is a different design. It has new notches, new indentations in it. The old shield during the battle, the whole shield that Cap had pretty much the full time in the MCU was splintered, broken in half.
Shattered.
In a
Completely
shattered. Yeah, it's gone. So this is a new one, and there's a whole new story behind it. I've speculated in videos that this, if it did come from an alternate timeline, might be made of a different substance than vibranium, specifically what it was originally in the Marvel Comics, proto-adamantium, which is kind of like the special material. It's like a vibranium ally that's been enhanced. Alloy, but it's, you know, it's allegiant to vibranium in a way. But it's meant to be stronger, more durable, and it was Weapon X's attempt to recreate that material that got them to the adamantium that they put in Wolverine's skeleton. So it's kind of linked in that way, Wolverine and Cap, their histories. So that's why I think there's a chance Wolverine might show up in some way, or he might get alluded to in some way. Maybe it's too soon for that, though. So that's not the train I'm getting on, MT. I'm not getting on the Wolverine train.
No, that would be really cool if there was like allusions towards just adamantium and the whole Weapon X project. Just like, hey, it's coming. It's not here yet, but you know, they're around. I would love that so much. It's like just finding out where this new shield came from. If at what point during Cap's like stay in that alternate timeline, if he met up with like an alternate universe T'Challa and was like, hey man, could you just repair this for me? Because I know you don't know me, but I mean, I guess they would know each other. It'd just be a different version. Dude, multiverse travel, man. It's
weird. And you got to think, like, Cap went to that alternate timeline around the late 40s, so he would have been hanging out with T'Chaka. And so that's one way, if you want to try to find a way to show Cap's alternate history with Wakanda. You don't have Chadwick Boseman, sadly, anymore. But you could just have younger actors playing T'Chaka, and he has a relationship with him in this alternate timeline, you know?
That's very, very true. That's very true. T'Chaka would definitely help him out there. I'm sure that this is probably a new shield fixed up from a different reality. So.
Yeah, and you know, it has been confirmed that Chris Evans is going to return to the MCU it's not confirmed. I believe it's confirmed that he's in talks. I don't think the ink has been signed yet, but there are 2 new MCU movies that he is in talks to appear in. And if it's Chris Evans, he's not going to be old man Chris Evans. It's going to be young Chris Evans, and the only way that makes sense is if he is in this alternate history. So what is that history? Is it with him exploring Wakanda, helping them with stuff? Is he going out to free Bucky from the clutches of Hydra? I would hope so. I would just hope this could be one way that Wolverine gets introduced, like, because you know their histories are so intertwined. I'm not saying it's going to happen in the Falcon Winter Soldier, but you know, if it's just
It could
implied
very
that
much
Cap,
happen.
yeah, if they give us answers to where old Cap came from,
Yeah.
that we can do the rest, Marvel.
Yeah. But no, I really hope that Chris Evans does make a cameo in this show, because
it'd be great.
it just feels right. It feels like he should at least be like, hey guys, what you guys doing? Shenanigan? I mean, it's just, I don't know. I just feel like just having that, at least that flashback or just a detail of like, all right, this is where I got this shield.
Right.
Here's the answers, but Marvel doesn't like giving us answers. So
No,
we have to just
they hate
slowly
giving us
wait
answers.
for them, drip by drip.
Now, would you want young Chris Evans? Because young Chris Evans would be from an alternate thing, or it would be shown in flashback. If it stays in the present day, it would have to be old Chris Evans in that old makeup again, which I feel like Chris Evans would be willing to do. He's a trooper. He's a nice guy.
Oh yeah, he's a trooper. I mean, I personally would like to see old Chris Evans, old man Cap.
Yeah.
Just so, because like the trailers are sort of alluding to, a Cap unfortunate passing. So it would be really nice and really touching just to see him go.
So you think we might open, because as you said, we saw Sam in kind of those dark suit, wistfully looking at Cap's Smithsonian exhibit. So do we think we could open with a funeral for Steve Rogers, the old man Steve Rogers?
Yeah, I definitely think that's a high possibility.
Yeah.
But like, I just really, since Captain America is one of my favorite MCU heroes, I think it would just be really touching to have like a deathbed type scene with Chris Evans and Cap and Bucky, and it would just be really nice because he busted his ass trying to save the world throughout his entire life. So we deserve that, Kevin. Please, Kevin. Kevin, please.
All right, our next what the Falcon is Zemo's plan. Like, how did he get free from custody? Because he's out and about now. How did he get out?
I mean, that's a good question. I mean, it could easily be the blip. I mean, like if he disappeared during the blip and he came back and like in the middle of like, I don't know, a Wendy's, is like, hey, I'm not in prison anymore. It's pretty good. I will have the Baconator.
They're like, sir, you look really mad. He's like, I'm still thinking about my family.
Yeah, I'm really upset about my family and the fact that I got snapped, but mostly my family. So like maybe he came back from the blip. Maybe he orchestrated a prison break, which would be a lot cooler.
Yeah.
Zemo would be able to do that. Or he could be released as part of a Thunderbolts-esque initiative.
Yeah, so that's a big theory, because Zemo's whole backstory in the comics is at some point he becomes kind of Citizen V, where, he's like trying to create his new version of the Avengers, and it's called the Thunderbolts. And then there's a lot of people who are tied in with it. I believe Goliath might be. They all kind of take on different names.
Yeah.
But then they turn on Zemo because they hate him. And they're like, we're actually gonna be straight up good guys. And he's like, I am so upset.
This wasn't the plan.
I give him a German accent where he has closer to a Russian accent in the movie. But Daniel Bruhl, So we'll see if that ends up happening. That's been kind of the speculated theory. I'm not sure about that. That might be they might lay the seeds for it. I don't think we'll see it in the show. We're talking 6 episodes, folks. 6 episodes. Whose story is it? It's we got to learn our lessons from WandaVision. It is Wanda's story. It is not Thaddeus Thunderbolt's Ross story or whatever you think this is.
Imagine if they just switch it up. It's like this is actually Thunderbolts Ross's show.
Yeah.
And we're just watching an old man just do old man things. Just like I'm taking my fiber pills now. Time to go to work and yell at good guys for some reason, because I'm just always just a downer.
I'm just curious to see what Zemo's role. He's such a wild card right now, and there are some shots in the trailer where it looks like he's teaming up maybe with Sam and Bucky, or at least he's kind of giving them a tour of Madripoor, leading them somewhere. So why aren't they immediately trying to beat him up and tackle him and restrain him right now? Like, what has he been able to offer them? And that's why I think there might be something Thunderbolts inspired. Like, maybe he's like, look, your government has abandoned you. You can't go home right now because of the Sokovia Accords. So let me give you an opportunity to make a new name for yourself.
I mean, maybe. I mean, or this could also just be a trap, because Zemo is
It's a trap.
It's a trap.
Don't trust him. Yeah, agreed. Yeah.
And he could just be like, hey, come over here. Let me show you something real cool. It's just like, you're in a pit now. You fell into my trap. So who knows? That's a very good point. And I I just don't trust Zemo because he's just so smart. And
Yeah,
I love
never
that
trust
about him.
Zemo.
So
He is a
smart.
very smart guy. Yeah, and at the end of the day, I think it'd be really hard for Bucky to ever trust Zemo after the way he did him dirty in Civil War. I mean, the guy made his life a living hell. He created, he led to Bucky getting his arm ripped off and, having to go back to Siberia and fight each other, and no one
But
likes
there's
Zemo.
another thing that is very interesting because Zemo's from Sokovia, there is a chance that we could have a WandaVision tie-in with the show, because obviously Wanda's from Sokovia, Zemo's from Sokovia. So they're both, maybe they were neighbors. Maybe
Right.
we'll see.
MT, wouldn't it be awesome if we found out that whole battle that was happening in the streets, the night of the Maximoff's death, the parents' death,
Yeah.
that Stark bomb that air raid that happened, that Zemo might have been on the streets in that moment, that he looks up at the window and sees Irina Maximoff
Yeah. closing
closing the blinds. Like, if they can
That would
link
be
it
such
that
a
way,
cool thing.
ooh, baby.
Bro, that's such a good idea. Oh my god. I'm all about that.
I mean, all he has to say is, like, when I was 14, I fought in this war. I don't know how old Zemo is supposed to be. I think he's got 10 years at least on the Maximoffs, right? He's supposed to be
he's
in his
definitely
40s somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah, something around there. So,
Yeah.
oh man, that'd be such a really cool perspective. It's like, hey, what are you doing up there? Watching movies? This is Zemo's story now.
Yeah. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy.
Oh boy. I'm all about that. Now you got me excited because oh man, yes, that's so good.
Now, in the teaser scene that MT and I reacted to at the top of this, there's this great moment where Sam sorts the supers of the world into the big three: androids, aliens, and wizards. And I'm curious, what the Falcon is a new threat that he's trying to sort. Who is he saying this is one of those three? But let's try to just like quickly sort who he's talking about. So for androids, he would have been talking about Ultron, Vision, but maybe also Bucky, because in all the trailers he's like, hey, you got that mechanical mind up there. Whereas Bucky, the only part of him that's mechanical is his arm, but like he has been programmed. So it's kind of mean to Bucky that it keeps saying he's got a robot brain.
Sam's a little bit of a jerk, but that's why we love him.
And I love that he calls people aliens because, he's talking about like Thor and Loki and Valkyrie, people who came from Asgard, which to him, he's like, hey, they ain't from here. They're aliens. But also the Guardians of the Galaxy, Thanos, the Skrulls, the Kree, maybe even Captain Marvel, because she's been gone forever. She comes back. She's got this superpower. She's an alien.
I mean, Falcon show, like, imagine coming back from the blip and being surrounded by an army of just aliens and being like, what is going on? What are we about to
What
do?
is this?
It's like, oh, we're about to go fight Thanos. It's like, oh, shoot, aliens galore. It's just aliens
Great.
everywhere.
And then wizards were getting a bigger picture because this whole debate is about Doctor Strange, whether or not he's a wizard based off whether he has a hat or not. We got Doctor Strange, Wanda, Maximoff, Wang, Agatha. Presumably this takes place after, because it was so recent in WandaVision. It was only 3 weeks. So for all this stuff to be taking place, I do have this theory that it could be the multiverse's big week. And that's what we're seeing. All these series are taking place in that 3 week period or that month period after Avengers Endgame ends. But I'm thinking it's like a couple months. But it seems like they're still in that period of like the blip just happened. So-and-so hasn't blown all the leaves off their driveway yet. Everything's still kind of overgrown. The groundskeepers are still figuring out what their shift is. So we'll see. But of these different groups, MT, who do you think Sam and Bucky are talking about? Who are they going off to face right now in that moment? Because they know who Zemo is. They know Zemo isn't one of those three. It must be some other group. Why did they consider the Flag Smashers one of those three? If they are just like a militant group, it's suggesting that they have some kind of advanced powers that they can do really good parkour or something.
I would guess androids. If anything, they were experimenting with like AI and all that stuff in WandaVision, and so like who knows? Like who knows if androids or robot technology has advanced super far at this point in 2023, I believe, in the MCU.
Yeah.
And
that could be
possibly.
why. That could be why Sam keeps making fun of Falcon or Bucky's robot brain. He's like, "You're a robot. You should get other robots."
It's like, these are your people.
I'm not
like,
a
of course.
It's just my arm, dude. I'm wondering if, like, in this moment, MT, they might be headed off to Madripoor, and maybe the Hand is involved in this. So they're like, "Who are these crazy ninjas?" I'm not saying the Flag Smashers are the Hand, but it could be that, or it could be like we're starting to see elements of supernatural powered people on Earth that they don't have an answer for, and that we could be starting to see mutants. Just like hints at, hey, this person had powers. They weren't on our list before the blip. Now they are. I don't know who this is. And maybe we're starting to see signs that people have these superpowers that, it doesn't make sense for them to have it. Maybe we still don't have answers about Monica Rambeau. She had powers before she went through those hex walls. So maybe the MCU's saying she's just one example of someone just around the world who has these like weird powers now. Like their physiology's weird. And maybe the mutant gene is the answer to that.
Yeah, possibly the snap like activated something in like some cosmic part of their biology that the Celestials from the past probably put in. And it's just like, all right, this tragic thing happened to humanity.
Yep.
Let's just activate this now. just as a protective.
Let's give them a consolation prize. Some of them will now have powers. But like, it'll be traumatic for them. But
yes, but like that they could just explain it away as just like, all right, the Earth is trying to protect itself, like they do in the comics. I believe in the Earth X series, and like it's just like the Earth is trying to protect itself, so let's just put mutants now, and like people are now super powered, and like just in case another Thanos or something comes around.
Yeah.
So yeah, who knows?
Yeah, it could be like a natural step of evolution, right? They're trying to make humanity and Terrans better fit for survival in a broader universe. Is now their mutant genes get activated because they need them. We need to make a certain percentage of the population supernatural warriors. All right, our fifth and final What the Falcon. Let's steer right into Theory Corner, MT. What insane Marvel fan reveal can we look forward to in this series? And let's go rogue here. Let's go insane.
Okay, I mean, I think that we could actually get a Zola cameo.
I was about to say the same thing.
If anyone follows me on Twitter, I've been obsessed with the Zola thing.
Yes.
I honestly thought Zola was behind everything in WandaVision. I was so convinced.
Oh, nice.
I was so convinced because WandaVision takes place in New Jersey. And Cap,
it's right there.
It's right there. It's right in the same state. His camp and stuff where Zola was based in. So I was like, oh man, it's Zola. But this is a more appropriate show for Zola to actually make a reappearance in. And as we saw, I don't know if you guys remember in Winter Soldier, where Zola was all computerized up, there was a USB drive. So even though Zola, like his whole computer thing was destroyed, there is a chance that Zola could still be alive.
Yeah.
Because he could just be stored on that USB stick that Cap took out, or just in another Hydra USB or whatever, just backed up somewhere else, because we have the technology now.
And they keep bringing him back. I mean, they showed him on the background. The VFX artist put him in the background of that lab in Endgame. He's been there 3 times. He is kind of like the recurring ghost in the machine of the MCU, and they love him. They love bringing him back in little forms. And even the Endgame screenwriters were like, we would love to bring back Zola in a way. And they actually had an idea to merge him with MODOK. I kind of want MODOK to be a separate thing personally, because MODOK's insane and crazy and
I love MODOK.
Hilarious.
It's fucking fantastic.
But like, to bring back ARNIM ZOLA in the MCU, I think it's not too much to ask. It's not too crazy just to hear his voice, or if it's not Toby Jones, some other actor who's like derived from Zola, like the next OS reboot of Zola. So
Zola High Sierra.
Can we say it? Can we say it, MT? Is the train we're on for the show the Zola train?
I think we're on it now.
I think we're on the Zola train. Let's do it. Let's go for it. Why not? Or if not the Zola train, MTR and I are on one of those hand carts where we're just, up and down on the. We're following the
Zola mine cart.
Zola,
like
Zola.
Zola. Oh my god, that's fantastic.
They love him. They want to bring him back, and they had those plans for that Zola robot body that he is in the comics. That was among his blueprints back in the first Avenger movie.
Oh my god, I want to see that. I want to see it.
I don't think we'll see it. It would be wild if we did. I hope we do.
I really hope we do.
But we're going to be on the lookout for all kinds of insane MCU tie-ins, whether it's mutants or any kind of Skrull / Secret Invasion. I'm happy taking a break from Skrulls for now, since we just got one in WandaVision. And things like the Young Avengers. Like if Isaiah Bradley is in this, his grandson is Elijah Bradley, who is in the comics Patriot, one of the Young Avengers. And there's also been some theories that there might be some tie-in with Black Widow, because originally Black Widow was supposed to precede this, and there was some theories that maybe they would never put Falcon Winter Soldier before Black Widow because there's a character from Black Widow who's supposed to appear in it, like Yelena Belova or Thaddeus Ross or Red Guardian. We'll see. Black Widow has been kind of like radio silent this whole year, other than it'll be in theaters. But yeah, I don't know. It might be on its own island.
It's so weird, like, now that we're moving forward into phase 4, once Black Widow finally comes out, like going backwards in time and just being like, oh, we're back here in phase 3, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, Black Widow has been oddly silent.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We'll see how that one goes. But I do have another theory as to who we might see in Falcon and Winter Soldier. I think we might actually see Red Skull.
Oh,
the
very
man's
nice.
himself. The man's himself, because he's all done. He's done 2 times over actually, because Gamora and then Black Widow. So both those versions are done. So we could see Red Skull appear again, because he's just like, hey, I'm back again.
Didn't Ross Marquand mention something like, they asked him, well, now that the Soul Stone has been acquired, is your, whatever your job is, are you relinquished from duty for doing that? And I think he mentioned that like the writers had talked to him about an idea of like Red Skull returning to Earth and looking down on Earth and being like, yes, there's so much more I can do here. But he's like, it never ended up showing up anywhere. Red Skull would be nuts to see in this. I thought seeing Red Skull again in Infinity War was already pretty crazy. I would love to see him show up again.
I peed myself a lot in the theater. I was very shocked. I was not expecting that one.
Me neither.
But yeah, no, I honestly think that he could definitely make an appearance. I have this weird theory that there's actually 2 Red Skulls out there, because we did have 2 Red Skulls. Because we had the Gamora Red Skull that at the Gamora death.
Oh,
at a different timeline.
An alternate timeline Red Skull.
This Red Skull. And if you see, I don't know, this is a weird theory train that I'm on. But if you look back at the footage in Endgame and Infinity War, as soon as the sacrifice is made, a portal shoots up into the sky. And
the beam of light.
Yeah. And that I think that is where Red Skull went up both times.
Whoa.
Through this wormhole, and like now he's in the process of being transferred to wherever he's going. It could, it might not even follow within the realms of time. Maybe he's just going through time and space and like, all right, I can go into any point in anything. So I don't know. That's just a weird theory that I
love that theory. I think that's exciting. No. I personally want Red Skull to show back up in the MCU, but maybe something like in an Avengers Secret Wars movie. He just shows up in Battle World. Oh. It's like, Red Skull's back. God. We are going to close out with a new segment that we're going to maybe end each episode with. It's going to break down each of the Cap wannabes of the series, because it's all about who gets to carry the legacy, who we want on our left. We're going to call it Oh Cap, My Cap. We're going to ask, which potential Cap successor would you say, that's my Cap? Which would you say, not my Cap? And I'll put on a cap for this. Maybe we'll sell new caps for this.
Nice. Now you're undercover in the MCU.
Don't blow my cover. Let's start with Sam Wilson. That's my Cap or not my Cap?
That's my Cap, dog. It's my Cap, man.
That's my Cap too. God. He's great.
I love it. Like, the comics are so good. Like, they're just phenomenal. So, yeah.
But what about Bucky Barnes?
Bucky Barnes? I mean, like, I really do like him as Captain America, but, like, I'm more of a Sam Wilson guy. So, I'm going to say not my Cap, but, like, sort of my Cap.
Yeah, I'll say not my Cap to Bucky Barnes, but if he is your Cap, that's okay. It's just this version of Bucky Barnes, he's an amazing Winter Soldier. He embodies the spirit of the Winter Soldier, but not Captain America. I wouldn't want to put him... I don't want to saddle him with that shield. It's not the burden I want him to carry. And
it would be kind of hard for him, I feel, given everything that he's done and his terrible reputation, just to be like, all right, I'm Captain America now, the face of America. I don't know if that's going to go well with a lot of people.
No,
especially, the Stark Foundation. I'm sure they're going to be like, well, I don't, maybe not.
Arrest this man. Arrest him, please. Yep. All right. I think we both agree. U.S. Agent John Walker, not my Cap.
Not my Cap. No way.
Not anyone's Cap. Not even his own Cap. He knows deep down he doesn't deserve this. He's got major imposter syndrome, and he deserves the imposter syndrome. How about Helmut Zemo?
Obviously not my Cap for the terrible things he's done.
Yeah.
But, in another universe, if he was a good boy, he'd be a very smart Captain America.
Yeah.
But no, not my Cap.
Yeah, I mentioned him because he might follow the Citizen V arc where he is trying to be a version of Captain America with another name. But yeah, not my Cap. I like Zemo, not my Cap. What about if Carl Lumbly or if Isaiah Bradley is part of this? Not my Cap, or that's my Cap?
I mean, that'd be my Cap. I mean, if it was Cap, like initially, like that'd be my Cap. I'd be all about it.
Yeah, I want to hear his story. Absolutely, I would say that's my Cap.
Yeah.
Battlestar, if Lamar Hoskins is in this, what do you say? Not my Cap?
I'm gonna say not my Cap.
Yeah,
Sam Wilson all the way. Sam Wilson. He's the man.
I would say he would be a smaller character in this, but I would hope he would be part of the team that brings down U.S. Agent. If he gets to hold the shield briefly, that'd be pretty great. Okay, now let's talk about old man Cap, old Steve Rogers. He's still around. He might be getting buried in that first episode, but that's my Cap.
That's gotta be my Cap, dog. That's always been my Cap, man.
Yeah, he'll always be our Cap. Yeah.
Yo, he's always in here. He'll always be in here, man.
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah. It's gonna be so sad if he does go. But yeah, he'll always be my Cap.
And we will leave it there for now. But we'll check in on these names every episode. Maybe Sharon Carter could join that mix. She could be Cap. Why not? Everybody can be Cap. We're all Cap. Everyone's Cap.
You get to be Cap. You get to be Cap.
We're all Cap. But that is it for this preview episode of Inside Marvel. I almost said the WandaVision after show. It's not even in the script. It's our after show for the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. MT and I will be back next Friday, March 19th in the morning. I think we're going to aim for 9 a.m. Pacific time, noon East Coast time for our reaction to the premiere episode of the Falcon Winter Soldier and our after show. We're going to try to answer all the questions you had about the episode. So a reminder to join us live using the Stereo app by downloading Stereo at stereo.com/newrockstars so that you can listen to all of our shows on Stereo and you can submit your questions and theories, hear us respond in real time, and you can download the app for free on Apple and Android, create an avatar and profile. So now MT and I are going to turn to our listeners on Stereo, our patient listeners. We're going to take your questions in a bonus Q&A segment that will go up on the channel on Sunday. In the meantime, follow MT at Mastertainment on YouTube and Twitter and Instagram. Follow me at EA Voss. Follow New Rockstars. Subscribe to Inside Marvel wherever you get your podcasts. Thank you for watching, and we're going to leave you with our favorite moment from the trailer so far.
Just blink, sweet Jesus. I mean, how old are you?